Hey guys, it's Rob here and welcome back to another video. In this video, we're going to talk about the things that I would like to see from the Nintendo Switch 2 or the next Nintendo Switch or whatever Nintendo is going to call them, which is actually something that I do want to talk about in this video because I think it's very important, especially when it comes to the name. If you guys watched my last video, which the video will be in the pinned comment, there's a thing going around that Nintendo might be calling the Nintendo Switch 2 the Nintendo Switch Attach, which you can imagine why that would be a problem. So we're going to add that into this video too. So first up, backwards compatibility. I think we can all agree that we want to play our current Nintendo Switch games on the Nintendo Switch 2. I mean, The Legend of Zelda Wind Waker, not Wind Waker, I don't know why I said the Wind Waker. I have Wind Waker on the brain. I want to see that on the Nintendo Switch 2. That's another thing I would love to see. But I meant The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, Breath of the Wild, Super Mario Odyssey, third-party games like Monster Hunter Stories 1 and 2, that's going to be coming out soon. Well, Monster Hunter 1, Monster Hunter Stories 2 already came out, but there is going to be a bundle, so I'd like to play that on the Nintendo Switch 2 as well with backwards compatibility. I mean, there are a lot of fantastic games on the current Nintendo Switch that I think the Nintendo Switch 2 would definitely benefit, especially if you can upgrade to some kind of upscale or better frame rate or just an overall improvement on the current version that you have, but just on the Nintendo Switch 2. But yeah, backwards compatibility is something that I really do want on the Nintendo Switch 2 because a lot of other past Nintendo systems have had it and they've usually made it really easy to play your past games on the next system. Especially when it comes to systems that are already in the same brand, so like Game Boy and Game Boy Advance, Game Boy Color and Game Boy, Nintendo Wii and Nintendo Wii U, and so on. I mean, it doesn't always happen, but it is really nice when they just make it really easy. Pop in the cartridge and play. And if Nintendo does do backwards compatibility, that's what I want to see. I want it to be very simple. I don't want Nintendo to do anything weird. I don't want to have any digital downloads. I don't want to clog up my memory card. I just want to pop in that cartridge and play. I don't know if that's going to be possible. I don't know if there's going to be any licensing problems. That's what Xbox ran into. So I guess we'll see. But yeah, that's what I would like from backwards compatibility when it comes to the Nintendo Switch 2. Now, moving on to the next topic, Joy-Con drift. I want this fixed. Honestly, it's really frustrating having Joy-Con drift on your Nintendo Switch Joy-Con. I don't know why I keep saying that word so much. I think we can all agree that this is something that shouldn't be a huge problem like it is on the current Nintendo Switch. I mean, Nintendo knows it, we know it. Come on, just fix that problem for the Nintendo Switch 2. And honestly, if you figure out what's wrong with it, fix that in their current Joy-Cons as well. And as we're on the topic of Joy-Cons, what about different types of Joy-Cons? I would like Nintendo to be a little bit more creative when it comes to Joy-Cons for the Nintendo Switch 2. I mean, I feel like Nintendo hasn't been too creative with their special editions on the Nintendo Switch, especially when it comes to the Joy-Cons. A lot of them are kind of bare bones. I mean, remember how many cool special editions we had with the Nintendo 3DS? I mean, the Legend of Zelda ones alone were really good. I mean, do you guys remember the Hylian Shield 3DS? That is a gorgeous 3DS. Imagine having that sort of thing on the Nintendo Switch. I mean, that would be amazing. I really hope Nintendo does a lot better with these special editions. They're not all bad, you know, there are some decent ones, but they're not as good as the 3DS in any way, shape, or form, in my personal opinion. I don't know how you guys feel on that. I'm sure you guys will tell me in the comment section below. But yeah, better Joy-Con special editions and special editions overall for Nintendo Switch systems. I think Nintendo can do a lot better. And with the Nintendo Switch 2, this is the perfect chance to revamp that whole thing and make better ones. And the next thing I would like to see with the Joy-Con specifically is to be able to customize them. Let us change the button layouts, let us change different buttons, like if you want to play GameCube games, if that's ever going to come to the Nintendo Switch online service, let us put GameCube buttons on the Joy-Cons and swap them out. I know they already have Joy-Cons that already do that, but that's third party. If Nintendo can make really cool ones and really high quality ones, I'm willing to pay extra for it. I think that would be really cool. I don't know how difficult that would be to make, but I think that would be a really cool thing for Nintendo to do for the Nintendo Switch 2. And next up, when it comes to the games on the Nintendo Switch 2, especially when it comes to backwards compatibility, I mentioned this earlier, I'd like to see some kind of upscale on these games. I want these games to run better on the Nintendo Switch 2. Now, I am not a big power person per se. I do like my high frame rates and high resolutions, but I'm okay with lower resolutions like 1080p. I'm completely fine with that as long as it's 60 FPS, and a constant 30 FPS frame rate is also acceptable. Don't know why I said it like that, but that's for certain games. There are some games I do prefer 60 FPS, but I would like these games on the Nintendo Switch 2, new and old, if there is going to be backwards compatibility, to have some sort of upscale. And we know that or I shouldn't say we know, according to rumors, Nvidia is going to be doing their DLSS, so maybe some past Nintendo Switch games will get some sort of upscale. I mean, I think about Age of Calamity and how it runs, and every single time I play the game, I just think, you know what, this game would be a lot more enjoyable if it wasn't lagging so much. Or not lagging, frame rate I mean. And next up, I would like them to have themes. Man, I really do miss those 3DS themes. I keep talking about the 3DS was such a good system. I know I keep talking about 3DS, but they did a lot right with the 3DS when it comes to just overall, not only games, but also with just customizing your own Nintendo Switch. But yeah, I would like to have themes on the Nintendo Switch too. We know it's going to be more powerful, or according to rumors, it's going to be more powerful. I mean, I would assume something that's called the Nintendo Switch 2 or whatever they're going to call it. Hopefully not the Nintendo Switch Attach. Horrible name. I'll get to that, by the way. I hope we do have themes again. And also, along with that, a party system. I think a party system would be really great. Whenever I play games with friends on the Nintendo Switch 2, we always have to resort to some weird way to do voice chat. I mean, I remember when I used to play I think it was Splatoon, we used Discord, we used a bit of the Xbox chat because I used to play it through the Elgato on my TV or my PC, so I would do the whole voice chat that you have that can connect to the Xbox because he had an Xbox 360 or Xbox Series X. But as you can see, we were going through all of these hoops just to have voice chat when we were playing Splatoon 3 on launch. And I just think it would be great if there was just a party system. And speaking on the whole Nintendo Switch infrastructure of like the UI and just the home screen and overall that kind of stuff, I hope they just carry everything that was on the current Nintendo Switch and bring it over to the Nintendo Switch 2. Do not leave anything that you've added that really helped players out back on the original Nintendo Switch. I don't think they will, and this also brings up the question, are they even going to change the UI, or are they just going to keep it the same between all systems? Because if it is in the family of Nintendo Switches, are they going to keep everything consistent when it comes to the UI? That's another question I do have. Honestly, if I'm going to be paying extra for this Nintendo Switch 2, I do want some sort of difference. I do want some sort of upgrade over the past Nintendo Switch, because at that point, it's like, well, then why buy it? And speaking of why buying, they need to market this thing correctly. One thing I think a lot of us are kind of worrying about is that we're going to have a Nintendo Wii U situation on our hands. If you guys watched that last video that I did, there is a YouTube ad that appeared and it calls the Nintendo Switch 2 the Nintendo Switch Attach. You can already tell why that would be a huge problem. Already when the Wii U came out, people thought it was an attachment for the Nintendo Wii, without even the word attach in the name. Imagine if they put the word attach in the name. People are gonna think it's an attachment. This is gonna cause a whole slew of confusion for the Nintendo Switch install base, especially for those who are kind of the average customer who don't really know too much about it, especially when it comes to Christmas when parents are buying consoles, or maybe grandparents are buying consoles for their grandkids. It's just a marketing nightmare if they did that. Please do not call it the Nintendo Switch Attach. I don't know why I keep saying Nintendo Switch like that. But yeah, don't call it that. Make sure it's like Nintendo Switch 2 or Super Nintendo Switch or New Nintendo Switch. New Nintendo Switch I think would be a good name because then people would think, okay, so this is kind of like the new 3DS. Now if they do call it the new 3D, or not new 3DS, the new Nintendo Switch, then it's going to be up to the marketing from Nintendo to make sure people know, okay, this is a more powerful Switch, but it still plays your current Nintendo Switch games. If backwards compatibility is going to be a part, which it would be insane if they didn't have backwards compatibility with the next Nintendo Switch. I mean, think of all the games on the current Nintendo Switch, all of the people who own a Switch, who own multiple Switches, and just multiple games too, and it's just not going to play any of those. I mean, that would be crazy. And the last one I want to talk about is battery life. I hope the battery life is longer. You know, more battery life is always great to have on the current Nintendo Switch. I wish it had anyways, but the next Nintendo Switch, I would like longer battery life. I have a very long commute to work often, and I would love a longer battery life. Just in case, you know, I didn't charge my Nintendo Switch the day before, or I've been playing it for a couple times in a row when I'm going to work. It's usually like an hour, hour and a half drive sometimes, so I really do hope that that battery life is a lot longer. And if I ever decide to travel, which honestly, I've heard horror stories about people traveling, and now I'm Kind of wondering if I should ever travel. But yeah, a bigger battery, or not bigger battery, but you guys know what I mean, longer battery life would be nice on the next Nintendo Switch. Upgrade over the current Nintendo Switch. According to rumors, the battery life is supposed to be better, but we'll see what happens with that. But yeah, those are some of the things I would like to see on the next Nintendo Switch. When it comes to just the system itself, when it comes to games, however, there is a lot I would like to see on the Nintendo Switch. Honestly, that could be its own video in itself. I'll just drop a couple. I definitely want to see Wind Waker if they're not going to bring that out before the Nintendo Switch 2. I want to see Twilight Princess on there too. I have a whole video explaining why I want to see these on the Switch, aside from the obvious fact that it's going to be portable and you don't have to buy a whole new system, if you don't plan on getting a Nintendo Switch 2 anyways. But I would like to see the next Mario game on the, well, I guess Super Mario Wonder already came out, so I wonder if they're going to do another Mario this soon. That's actually a good point I'm just thinking about. What do you guys think? Do you think by the time the next Nintendo Switch 2 comes out, do you think they're going to have a new Mario? Because Mario Wonder, well, I guess they could have been working on the next Mario during the time, around the time when Super Mario Wonder was in development and ready to finish and release. But yeah, the next Mario would be nice. A new Mario Kart would be nice too. I mean, we haven't had... Oh my god, we haven't had a new Mario Kart game in a while. I would like to see what they're going to do with the Zelda franchise as well. I think that's something I think a lot of people are wondering too, especially since we're not going to get any Tears of the Kingdom DLC as far as I know. So that would be really nice to see what they're doing with that. But yeah, those are just a couple games. I think I'm going to make that its own topic and own video because there are a lot of games I would like to see on Switch 2. But yeah, tell me what you guys want to see on the Nintendo Switch 2. I think it's really fun to talk about like that time of the Switch's lifetime when it's really exciting and we don't know what's going to happen and they're announcing all these new games and new features and it's like new hardware. That time is really exciting to me. That's why I like Nintendo Directs, because it's just what's going to happen? What are they going to announce? Nintendo always throws a curveball, and I feel like this is going to be a pretty big curveball. It's going to curve pretty big. So yeah, tell me your thoughts in the comment section below, what you would like to see during that time when the Nintendo Switch 2 comes out, when it comes to features, games, maybe changes to the UI. Like, what do you want? Thanks for watching, guys, and I will see you guys in the next video. Take care.